Today we're talking Harry Potter, the exhibition. Is it right for you and your family?
Let's find out. Hello and welcome to Couple Chat.
Where we
Parents.
discuss topics for you.
Parents. I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie. Let's chat. So for our wedding anniversary, Matt bought us tickets to go to the Harry Potter, the exhibition in New York City. It's kind of hard to miss the store, even though we missed it several times. When you see the storefront, it's humongous. It is depicted by these two giant pillars that have golden snitches on top that say Harry Potter, the exhibition.
It's the directions. I think the directions are taking us through the back.
It's just weird because Herald Square seems like it's bumping, but it's only because there's still a few stores there. But then the rest of it is just empty storefronts. So it's really weird.
It's like a closing mall. It's really...
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in an area where not even 5 or 6 years ago, it was popping. Like I remember going to the Herald Square store and training because I used to work for Victoria's Secret, and like that was the store.
I remember shopping there with you.
Yeah.
Like we would never, maybe this is why, we didn't really buy anything in the city, but it was like an experience to go to some of these stores.
Right. Like the escalators to get to the second, third, fourth, sometimes even fifth floor of a store. Yeah. That was the experience, being able to see specifically in the Victoria's Secret store, they would have TV screens lined up on the side of the escalators. So as you're going up the escalators, you're seeing the walkway of the angels walking down the walkway from all the runway shows and stuff.
I don't think I've ever been in that store.
Yeah, it's insane. And again, I trained in that store when I did the manager training program that I was in. And it's just like, something that you'll never see again unless they change it.
Yeah.
Maybe they reopen another store with that.
Probably the pandemic that like closed most of these stores because it's like these big companies are even like, why do we need that?
Yeah.
All this stuff can be done online, or it's like,
let's find another niche location.
Yeah, but how many locations do we even need in the city these days?
Yeah, true. We come around the corner and there's these two giant pillars, and it just made my heart jump and my stomach get nervous and just like really excited. It's a perfect photo op. So that is the front of the, not only the exhibition entrance, but also the store entrance. There's 2 sets of double doors. So you have the option.
Double doors.
Shout out to you, Janice.
She doesn't even know what that means.
Nope. The store for the exhibit is to the left, and it has its own entrance and exit. So like you can kind of shop that store as you please. So if for whatever reason you don't want to go to the Harry Potter store down on 22nd, you can go to this store and get things there too.
They have a good selection.
They have an okay selection, but the store is like an experience in its own.
It's a pop-up. Like this is clearly meant to be a pop-up. Like
sure.
If you want to get something quick, or you're looking for something, or, you just, hey, I don't have this, but I've been thinking about getting it. Yeah. They probably have it.
It's close to Penn Station. So like I could see why like it's appealing to members like who don't have time to get all the way down to the store, like the big store, to like pick up something really quick, or just be like, hey, I was in New York City. I went to the store and like got something stating I was here for Harry Potter. But anyway, so the right entrance is where you go into the exhibit. And it's so funny because when we got there was nobody there. There was no one on this line. We were the only ones on this line. So we went through, we did all the photo ops. We get to the last photo op, and Matt just walks right past it and goes right to the register to get our wristbands.
I felt rushed because like they specifically...
We were the only people there. Do you not understand? Literally, there was nobody on this line. The people who were standing behind the desks like got up from their chairs. They were like, people are here. Like that is rushing you?
It was a Tuesday.
Oh, that is rushing you.
I felt rushed. I was just saying. I don't know. Well, regardless, like she was so butthurt about it that when we came back around to the beginning, she was like, "Oh, now it's too busy over there to get the photo ops." And I was like, "Jackie, it's literally a line. Let's just go over and do it." And we did it. So stop complaining.
I'm just saying, don't forget to get your photo ops, folks.
Even though you can get them at the end when it's more appropriate.
What if there's an even longer line?
Maybe,
it was a Tuesday.
Maybe. All right, that's fine. I'm just saying. And that's probably more of the opportunity. See, that was the thing. Like, I'm like, oh, cool. We could just go right in. Like, I'm not thinking about, obviously, on a crazy day, there's a long line and people are standing there for a while. So that's why the photo opportunities are set up. We weren't standing there. So it's like, ba-ba-doop, ba-doop.
Ba-doop, ba-doop.
Ba-doom.
Anyway, they had these really cool little wristbands that they gave out, and what was nice about those is they were connected to our account, so our reservation was somehow like in an NFC code on this wristband that we could take. It wasn't like, oh, you have to bring back at the end. No, like it was something that was built into the reservation, and the guy just put it on us. And then what I loved was, so Matt got the audio guide to our reservation. It's an additional charge. If you've never been to one of these things before, it can be a bit distracting. So
it is.
I wouldn't recommend it if you know a lot about the subject you're going to visit, like Harry Potter.
They were literally talking, like we did start listening to it while we went in, and they were literally just recapping things that happened in the movies or the books, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like they were telling us about the Fort Anglia and how like Ron and Harry, and I'm like, why is this what you're telling me right now?
Yeah.
It was just, it became at a certain point, it was like, I don't see why this is necessary.
Yeah. So again, if you like those interactive voice guides, they can be really cool because they can give you like information about sets and like the experiences for the writers and the designers and things like that. But we've been to a few of these before. We've been to the Harry Potter exhibit or the Harry Potter experience, right?
I don't know. It's confusing because they have a lot of different ones.
They've had a few different ones, yeah.
And the one we went to a few years ago, which was also in New York City, was more geared towards the books, is what I noticed,
right?
Compared to this one, they did like get into the movies too, but a lot of it was about the books. They had like
so much source material,
yeah,
like JK's inspiration, JK's notebooks,
right?
Like just Greek mythology where she pulled things from, and all sorts of stuff.
That's that one was really cool.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going on anymore, but if it is going on,
not at that location because it does change.
Yeah.
But yeah, those things usually tour.
Yeah, but depending on like now that they have this one, they might have ended that one.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to find out. But we are in the United States, so it's not like we have Leeson Studios right here where we can just like go and actually see the Great Hall set that they use and actually like be able to do all these things because we are in the US, we are limited. So anything Harry Potter that comes through our vicinity, we like to partake and absorb. And
it is pretty cool that like they do this though.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Harry Potter stuff that crops up in our area. And I love that it's official.
Yeah.
Like this isn't just some Joe Schmo going around like, hey, just going to steal your money to do some Harry Potter thing.
Right.
Like this is official licensed Harry Potter stuff. And like, it's always fun, I'm sure you're going to get to it, but like, this one may have not been as great as some of the others we've been to, but like it was still entertaining and like we were never bored.
Yeah. We have the audio guide, right? So the guy at the front desk said, you have to follow this QR code. I would suggest one of you take a picture of it because the QR code can be a little finicky, or the link that comes with it. And thank you so much, gentlemen, who told us that, because it was finicky.
Yep.
We used it for 15 minutes and we had to rescan 4 times.
Yeah, it was really
and then we
annoying.
were like, all right, we're done. Because that's the annoying part about it. You have so many people on this link. You have so many people on the Wi-Fi or whatever is in that building that we were at, that it's so bogged down by how many people are even there. It just wasn't working in our favor. So we just decided to forego it and experience it for what it was. It's really cool. You go up this escalator and, you start seeing all the Harry Potter things, like the wallpaper or whatever. And then you come around this corner and they're like, wizards, please go up to the kiosk with the golden snitch. And it's like, golden snitch? So you're chasing a golden snitch throughout the entire exhibit. I don't know if you noticed that. But when you're walking down certain hallways, you hear the snitch flying in the soundtrack. And I don't know. It was just really cool to have this interactive thing. So the wristbands, again, I mentioned before, they have some sort of reader in it to save data, and it actually creates a profile on this, and it's a flat little piece of paper, like a little piece of plastic. It's not even thicker than a centimeter. It was tiny on this little piece of string. And on this little piece of plastic, you go up and you scan the code, or you scan the wristband, and you create your profile. So you could put in your house, or a Patronus, not necessarily your Patronus, but close, and certain wands. I was kind of disappointed at the selection of the wands, just because it was very limited. But as we got through the exhibit and got to the wand section, I noticed that it was because it was only the wands they had on display.
I don't know about that, because I saw some wands from Fantastic Beasts in there too.
Yeah.
Those are on display.
Tina, Queenie, and Newt's wands were in the selection to choose your wand. And they were also on display.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. They were only the ones that they had on display. And it's like, guys, you couldn't get Ginny's wand. You couldn't get Luna's wand.
Yeah.
That's
Nobody
weird
cares
to me.
about Fantastic Beasts, first off. The fact that they even...
Let me tell you.
The fact that they even, put Fantastic Beasts into this thing actually kind of, irked me. This is the Harry Potter exhibition.
Right.
You don't need to put Fantastic Beasts in. Nobody likes those movies. They literally canceled them.
Yeah.
So it's I just don't understand why they there's been plenty of situations where certain things don't pan out and you just push them aside and you move on.
Right.
But I don't know.
It's odd that they integrated it so much.
Yeah. Why put that in our faces that we know these movies didn't do well.
Right. And then you have to remind me about it while we're walking through. And then you remind me about all the loose ends that are there.
Yeah. And that person that's been causing havoc in Hollywood right now also.
Yeah. Well, they need to get their stuff together. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway.
We digress.
The wand selection is limited. The Patronuses are limited. The houses are obviously the 4 core houses, because you're at Hogwarts. You're not at Ilvermorny or Durmstrang or any other school.
Ever.
Ever. Which is fine, because you're following, I don't know. And what I liked about it was, though, you got to take a picture. So I am a big Harry Potter fan, if you haven't been able to guess so far. And the picture is of what you're wearing, obviously. It doesn't have to be just your face. You don't have to get super close. So I stood back, and you actually see me in my Marauders map dress. And I love it, because I'm also wearing my Hufflepuff headband, and I just look really cute, and was really happy that I could, kind of keep that memory there, because you could also receive an email with these memories in a link where you can actually see the pictures from the day on certain parts of the exhibit. I will get to that.
Mhm.
And then they like take you through this door and they're like, hey, wizards, come on in and stand here and watch a video.
Yeah, exhibitions love to start that way these days.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me. So it's so funny because I always relate it to like Disney rides that start out like this or like Universal rides.
It's like what I said about Back to the Future.
Yeah. And like you're standing there and you're watching this video. And it's like, look at the history of Harry Potter and filmmaking and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this is a cool diorama and like cool video. And it's posted up on a projector on a wall. But like, I feel like I've seen it before. But it was cool. It felt fun, you know, getting into the thing of it. And then doors open up and they're like, wizards, this way. And I'm like, okay. None of the staff was wearing cloaks, which I thought was weird. Like they were all in just black attire. Like there wasn't anything too whimsical about it, which was a little weird. Like at the store, they could be whimsical. Like they can wear robes if they want to at the store. A lot of them don't, just because it's not a comfortable thing to work in. You have like getting up and down and lifting boxes and things. But they also have a lot of Harry Potter garb, like jewelry and wands and that kind of stuff. At the exhibit, like I barely saw anybody who actually like seemed to know what Harry Potter was. But it's not like they even interacted with you too, because it's an open exhibit. You can really just kind of, it's a self-guided exhibit. So you really just kind of wander.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she lets you into this vast room that has, you guessed it, the Marauders map, and projected on the walls. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing name banners pop up.
Well, no, not all of a sudden. You had to scan it.
Well, oh right. She said, when you come in this room, please scan your wristbands. Please scan. And I'm wondering, why are we scanning the wristbands? And I totally forgot, but I was so excited because I scanned my wristband and I saw my name pop up on the wall. It was so cool. It was so cool to be able to see it like in a banner on the map. And then we took a picture of me next to it. And then we took a picture with you next to yours. And it was just, I don't know. This part was my favorite though, because we're in that little vestibule watching this video again, another video, but it was of the Golden Snitch. And then like they showed you Hogwarts Castle and they like changed the seasons.
Yeah.
And that
like went
little
through
boy.
the books.
Yeah, it went through
like, or the movies. This is I keep saying books, but the exhibition was all movie based.
Right. But this little boy, he had to be what, 5 or 6 tops, and he was so excited. He was running around chasing the snitch, and he got up really close, and I could see his mom like back there, like getting her camera up, and I was just like, or her photo op, and I was just like, oh. I want to do this with my kids. And I look over at Matt, teary-eyed, and he's like, really?
I'm sentimental when I have to be. But like these kind of situations, I don't know. All I think of is like, yeah, that's wonderful, but he would be a pain in the butt here.
He would have been, for sure.
I mean, like you said, that kid maybe looked like 5, maybe 6. So like, you know, he didn't seem like he was going to be that annoying. But it was funny when it got to the part where the Dementors showed up.
He ran to his mom.
Yeah, he didn't cry or anything, but he ran to her. It was pretty funny. That was funny.
Oh, and I did forget about the photo op in the beginning. So, you know, they let you into this hallway. And then they're like, hey, you want to pose for a picture on a screen that has no images?
Yeah. One of those, like, again, felt like a ride at Universal or Disney or something where they're like, money grab.
So, you know, we did our poses, only 2. And so that kind of stunk. Only 2 poses.
It's fine. I gotta move through it. But
yeah.
Either way, so like anytime we do something like that, my whole problem with it is I work in that field. Like I'm in photo video. So whenever we do something like that, I always get to the end and I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, it just looks bad. Like when they throw in the background on this like perfectly lit two people. Like we don't fit the background. Like it's just like, and then they want a ton of money for it. So it's like, what? I don't understand what. And we live in the day and age of social media.
Right.
So it's like, why even waste your money on that when we have real world pictures that we took ourselves right then and there? We were in the exhibit, like for the photo opportunities that they set up for you to take with your phone.
Right.
It's just like, those are way more memorable and way cooler than these silly things that are like ancient.
Right.
Like this style is ancient. I remember going to Six Flags when I was a kid. It was like 1997 and my parents did that. They took a picture of me and put me into a Batman Forever picture and I was Robin.
Oh, nice.
They plopped my head on top of Robin. So I was like, you know, with all the muscles and everything and I was next to Val Kilmer Batman. So like back then in 1997,
that was cool.
When you couldn't do that kind of stuff yourself, fine. But we live in the day and age where like, hello, we have these things. It's just like, it's for gullible people, you know, like, and it's not worth it. There's so many cool moments throughout this exhibition that you are allowed to take your phone and take pictures of. Yeah,
there's not one moment where there was no photos allowed.
Yeah. It was unnecessary for them to have that in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's a money grab. It's like them like trying to get an extra buck out of you. Even though like this thing's not like that cheap.
No.
I don't remember exactly because I bought it a while ago, but I want to say it's like $30 a person.
But still, that's how much we paid for like the Discovery one or like anything like that.
Sure.
Because we've been to a few of these before. Yeah. We went to the Hunger Games one, we went to the Star Wars one.
And honestly, I really like these things. I think they're all great.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of times these are like actual props and sets pieces from the movies or the content.
See, that's the question I was going to ask you earlier. So being that this is a traveling thing and like obviously we're in the US and whatever, like what is part of the movies there? What wasn't? Because like, okay, for instance, they had Hagrid's hut and like there was a chair there and like some other props and things. And then they had the cupboard under the stairs. Like some of these things seemed like mock-ups.
They're mock-ups.
Yeah. Like they're
not the real ones.
Yeah.
The real ones are at Leavesden Studios in the UK.
Gotcha.
Because it's.
Yeah. That's where the sets were built.
Right. So they're the OG.
So like these things
but
were.
those you can't sit in. Like you can't go in the cupboard there.
Yeah, you can look at it.
Right.
But like these things were set up as basically photo ops.
Yeah.
Like if you like we sat in why do I keep saying Hogwarts? We sat in Hagrid's chair and we got photo opportunities. We, went into Harry's nook under the stairs and took pictures.
What? I'm
cupboard. Sorry. We went into Harry's cupboard under the stairs.
Who calls it a nook under the stairs? It's the cupboard.
Like nooks.
Not when it comes to Harry Potter's home.
We're getting all.
He's Mr. Harry Potter in the cupboard under the stairs. Anyway,
putting all these peas out there. Who knows? We don't have any pop filters.
Oops. Anyway, yeah. So speaking of photo opportunities, I felt like every section, for the most part, had opportunities.
Yeah.
Maybe every other. But we've been at these things before, right? So it was one of those things where I was like, this is cool. And I did love the interactivity of like the snitch bracelet because it was a little snitch on the emblem on the bracelet that you like scan and you update your profile and whatever. I did like the interactivity. However, like, how many times are we going to walk through a hallway of moving portraits or non-moving portraits? Like some of them weren't. And now it's just like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Like take this portrait off the wall and put a moving one, please.
Right. There were certain ones that were monitors that they created a portrait out of. And then there were others where they were just there.
Right. And I felt that was very strange. And then you were saying the peephole.
That was weird.
There's like a little peephole that's looking into the boys'
Yeah.
dormitory on Christmas morning that one day. And it's like the scene, what is that? The fifth?
It's Order of the Phoenix, I'm pretty sure, actually.
Yeah.
Right?
Order of the Phoenix.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Where they're eating those things that make them sound
Animals.
like an animal. Yeah. What are they?
I don't remember the name of them. I'm a terrible Harry Potter fan, guys.
This is what you get from marrying a puff.
Wow. Listen, Griff.
Griff. Am I
you
future?
Are from Back to the Future too. No, you're Griff.
Right.
Gryffindor. Griffin poor. No, I don't know.
Nice. We're doing all right.
Griffin poop. I'm not saying. That's not what I was saying. You're not very nice.
Griffin, continue.
Anyway, so I was talking about something. Did I forget? My favorite.
You're talking about the peephole.
Yeah, the peephole was weird, but then my favorite like moments were those photo ops where it's like you get to actually be like the snake door or the snake door was cool from the Chamber of Secrets because that you could touch and that was really, really sharp. Like all those scales were actually like really pointy, which was cool. And then the vault door from the first movie, from Sorcerer's Stone. And then or Philosopher's Stone for all you UK listeners out there. What other? There were a few exhibits. I mean, there were a ton of stuff. What I liked most about it was that you could touch a lot of it. There wasn't, and the things that were behind the cases made sense. Like, yeah, obviously clothes, certain prop pieces. Yeah, you don't want people like touching those things, the fragile stuff, you know?
Yeah, so like those things that were in the cases. So like, yeah, they had these like photo opportunities set up and they had these things that like clearly weren't real props or sets, but the things in the cases
those
and
are
like
real.
Behind the glass, yeah, those were all like real costumes, real props.
Yeah.
Real set pieces.
Yeah. Well, that's how you know.
Yeah, that's
because they wouldn't really put a real thing on display like that.
So that's cool that they're traveling around with these real pieces that they can display.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of figured obviously that part.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's nice to actually hear it.
For sure. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to like talk a lot about this one just because we've been to a few already. So like you said, it's basically just the movies, right? When we came to the Fantastic Beasts parts, I wanted to leave.
Thankfully, so when it did get to the Fantastic Beasts parts, it wasn't like super overwhelming. At one point, I thought, oh, great, here we go. We're going in the Fantastic Beasts section.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized it was one little thing, and then we moved back into other Harry Potter stuff. Yeah.
Well, it took us to the Ministry of Magic and all that stuff. That they did intertwine it a lot. Yeah. I did like how they had Newt's suitcase. Yeah. That was cool.
There was a section where they showed the Fantastic Beasts within the suitcase, but for me, I just don't have an interest. I was like, all right, cool, whatever, move on.
The beasts are cool.
Yes, Jackie's obsessed with nifflers for some reason.
I love nifflers. They are the cutest little babies.
They steal your shit.
They steal gold, and I hate gold.
Gold!
So you could take all the gold you want, little nifflies, and then just...
You don't hate gold. Gold doesn't agree with you.
Right, I'm allergic to gold, so hence I hate it. Because it makes me burn. I'm a vampire.
You're a witch? Oh.
I thought we were going to be on the same page with that, but I guess not.
We're talking about freaking witches and wizards.
There's vampires in Harry Potter. You just don't see them.
Yeah, you do.
They talk about one of them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's a Moony.
No, he's not a vampire.
I know. He's a werewolf.
Correct. Anyway.
Incorrect. She had the opportunity and just let it go.
I mean, you did it. Let it go. Let it go.
You want to sing that here?
Nope. Oh, you know what the most disappointing part was? Yeah, this is a pop-up and all, but like they didn't even try in the bathroom.
That was a pretty funny part because like Jackie, so we get to the dark magic section. What did they call it? They called it something.
Dark and light side or something like that.
Yeah. But you get to the section. I'll say it after this, and Jackie's like, "Oh, I have to go to the bathroom." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And at first I was just gonna let her go, and then I was like, "You know what? Oh, we've been to a lot of these things. Usually the bathrooms are themed. Let's go." And then all of a sudden, like, we get to like the end of this doorway in the exhibit where it says restrooms, and then you just walk out, and it's just like
bright white
this
lights.
place is building. Like,
I mean, it could have been like, platform 9 3/4 at King's Cross in the book 7, but no, it was nothing. It was just white lights.
It was pretty funny, and I literally like I didn't have to go to the bathroom, so I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll see you in a bit," and I just walked right back.
Yep.
Yeah. That I mean, whatever. It wasn't a huge deal. It wasn't a deal breaker or anything.
But like you said, we've been to so many of these things.
Yeah.
I think that's why I kind of like it was so cool to be able to interact with a lot of it. Like the potions class was cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of interactivity in this one in comparison to some of the others we've been to.
I think that's why this one's such a different experience. Like you could take your kids to this because teaching them how to do the spells and like making potions and that kind of stuff, like that's cool for them. And being able to have a wristband to like scan and have their picture in their house and
looking at
earning house points,
looking at pages of a book or props and costumes and all that stuff.
They don't really care.
Kids don't care about that stuff.
not young ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just mentioned it. House points. Totally forgot about house points.
You're funny.
But you choose your house at the beginning and it matters.
Wait. Before you go into that, because that could be a good closing, I just want to mention one other thing.
Go ahead.
Something that they've never done in any other Harry Potter exhibit or experience that we've been to is the Flu Network. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that was clever.
They didn't do it a ton, but like when you got to the Ministry of Magic section, they don't tell you, but you just walking and all of a sudden you hear and then the ring around the doorway highlights green. And then we turn around and you're like, oh, cool, Flu Network. And it's like, it's a fireplace.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. I thought that was like a really nice touch.
Yeah, for sure. It's so funny because it's like one of those things you don't even realize is going to happen. And then when it happens, it's like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure.
The port key too.
Like, the port key was cool.
It was messed up though.
It kept getting messed up. I think because the port key, like the switch inside the boot is so specific. Once it like gets pushed the wrong way, it just like glitches a few times. I think it just needs to be fixed. But hey, Harry Potter exhibit, fix your port key.
Hey, Harry Potter Expedition Roasters.
Yes, get their flavors today.
That's not what I mean, but all right.
I know. There were. And then, I mean, nobody likes Umbridge, but the Umbridge part was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I liked that it was like actual kittens in the plates. Like you could tell they were on just like a little display, but it was cute.
Yeah.
I liked it.
So, sorry, go back to the house points.
The reason why you choose your house at the beginning is it matters. When you are going through the exhibit, you scan your wristband, right? And it pulls up your profile and it knows your house. Right. So when you complete these tasks, you get points.
Right. And
holy macaroni, who do we think won? Gryffindor.
10 points to Gryffindor for winning.
By a landslide, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
no, not by a landslide.
Lot.
Landslide is like you just made it, isn't it?
You won by a lot. No, landslide means you won by a heck ton of a lot.
Landslide bringing you down.
Hufflepuff, 4th or nothing. We had like no points. It was really sad. I felt like the only Hufflepuff there.
Well, it's just that's like the unfortunate part about like most people in like a fandom. Like, there's the hardcore fans.
Sure.
That are very particular and want to do things a certain way. And like Harry Potter probably has more hardcore fans than, you know, something else like Die Hard, you know, but it's just, you know, it's more niche is what I'm trying to say. Like Harry Potter, billions of people love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So like the ratio of hardcore fans is higher than some other universe like that.
Sure.
Like Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, they have bigger hardcore fans than other fan bases.
Sure.
So, granted, you still, because now there's billions of people, and even in New York City where there's millions of people probably going to this thing, maybe not thousands, most of them
claim to be a Gryffindor.
Just don't care. Just don't care. And they like Harry Potter and they know Gryffindor and they go, wow, cool. I could be like Harry, Ron, and Ginny and Hermione. Ginny's a Gryffindor.
Yeah, but like the Golden Trio, who gives a shit about Silver Trio, Ginny?
Just making up things
Bronze
now.
Trio. She's a Bronze Trio.
I don't know. I love Ginny. Marry Ginny.
If only.
Anyway, so you know, so that's always the situation. Like, you're more of a hardcore fan, so like you care about stuff like that.
Yep.
But I mean,
and you know who was second?
Slytherin.
Yep.
But anyway, whatever.
I could have been third or nothing.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yes, it is.
Puffs are too busy eating cake.
I don't like cake.
I don't like cake.
I
It's
prefer,
mushy and too sweet.
I prefer snacks.
And gets everywhere.
That's sand.
Sand's not mushy and sweet.
No, but it gets everywhere. Like, what are you trying
Cake
to quote
gets
here?
Everywhere.
Oh my gosh, we're just being slap happy at this
Slap happy.
point. Anyway, so what was your least favorite part of Harry Potter exhibition?
Like I said, I don't like those gimmicky like money grab things.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that photo thing in the beginning.
I didn't like the ridiculous cabinet.
Well, that was one thing that was kind of annoying about. So like, yes, it's interactive, and yeah, some of the interactivity is pretty interesting, but most of it's kind of lackluster. Like,
I told you, it's very limited.
Yeah.
You can't choose specific Patronuses. You could choose general ones.
No,
can't
but
choose specific wands.
But even like you were saying, so you mentioned the cabinet.
Yeah.
Like, so they bring you to these sections where they're like, do a spell, but really it's just a touch screen.
Right.
You tap your wristband and then you draw out the spell. Do the spell. But realistically, it would be much cooler if they do what they did in Universal, but it's like an extra layer on the experience. So you have the wristbands and then they give you an interactive wand. And you go around, and when you get to these interactive spots, you tap your wristband, and you actually do the spells.
I wish they just did it in the wristband. Like, that would have been cool to just like feel the flick of the wrist.
Or if it was just, like you could do it with your hand. Because, I mean, there's plenty of stuff these days, like motion sensing, that you'd be able to do that. But and trust me, it's really not that hard to build that into something like this. If they can do touchscreens, they could do that.
Yeah.
We've been to experiences that have stuff like that.
For sure.
There was at the Broadway Museum, the Museum of Broadway, they had a Harry Potter section where they were doing live...
live cutting?
No, they were doing live, AI, where they're turning you into a character and stuff like that. But yeah, so anyway.
That was definitely my least favorite part, too. Yeah.
But, again, like, it was pretty much what I expected it to be. I wasn't like, I didn't walk out of there like, that sucked. I feel like we wasted our time. No, it was an enjoyable experience.
My favorite part was the map.
In the beginning?
Seeing my name on the Marauders map is pretty cool.
Yeah. it was cool. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite part per se.
The dragon was even cooler.
All right.
Sorry. I really like the dragon. It was huge.
I really like the dragon.
I know they didn't use a real dragon in the movie, so it's cool.
Did you just say a real dragon?
You know what I mean?
I'm not sure I do.
Matthew, it was green screen. It wasn't real. Like the display.
Know dragons are not real, right?
Of course I know dragons don't exist. I'm saying that the statue that we took a picture in front of was just a model of the dragon he fought. It wasn't the real dragon he fought.
No. Well, see.
Oh, Quidditch was fun.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
I was terrible at it.
I was great.
Of course.
But back to the dragon. Like the cool part about film productions is they create models that they are going to base their CGI on.
Right.
And like these days, especially with something like Star Wars, where, you know, it's ships and it's metal.
Yeah.
They create models that they actually use.
Right.
So, and I mean, that's been going on forever with Star Wars, but like Jon Favreau brought it back with Mando, and now it's been carried on through these shows. So like models don't necessarily mean that they're not what is used in the movie. It's just they're not their CGI
elements
version of it.
Right. So yeah, but
just mansplained it.
He did. He
Hashtag mansplaining.
Hashtag Mattsplaining.
Anyway.
Yeah, and then you leave the exhibit. They show you those terrible pictures you took in the beginning with those terrible backgrounds. And then you go down to the store and you have a little walk around the store and you go, ooh, I want this. Ooh, I want that. And they have like 6 different versions of the house crests.
You know what we should have did?
Types. What?
How dumb are we? So you guys know that short form trend going on where like, oh, the husband's at Target with their wife and like they're holding their hand, not because they're in love, but because they're trying to keep them from buying stuff. Literally, that is pretty much what happens in any like Harry Potter-esque store.
He was not holding my hand. He was 10 feet in front of me telling me, let's go. We're not buying anything. I'm leaving.
It's out, like a kid.
You were out on the sidewalk before I even got past the registers.
No.
Yes.
She's lying.
Not
we literally
lying.
were in the rotating doorway together going, so nice try.
What?
That's what we were doing.
But
because
like,
it was a tight one.
I know, but like you're literally
That's what she said.
10 feet away from me while I'm looking at something. I'm like, come here. And you're like,
no, because we know how this is going to end.
I'm not getting anything,
leaving.
And he's leaving. Yes, I'm aware.
And we're going to B&H, and I'm spending all the money.
And we didn't go to B&H.
No, I forgot.
No, they were closed for Sucket.
Right, that's right. They're closed for Sucket. So yeah, that would have been great.
That would have been a great video.
Yeah.
If only you had remembered, Mr. Director Man.
Let me make you some content.
Daddy made you some content. Open wide. I think the exhibition is for you and your family, especially if they're huge Harry Potter fans. It's definitely worth the trip in the city, or if you're even there already, it doesn't hurt to see if there's a reservation available. I don't know how soon you can get one.
It seemed like people were buying them right then and there.
You can do will call as well.
I think it makes a difference on the time of day and days you go. Like again, we were there on a Tuesday. Like the city itself, until like we let out of the theater, Times Square was ridiculous. But the city itself was pretty dead in comparison to like when we've seen it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we also go during Christmas time, but
we can go a lot of times, but
yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, if you're looking for something fun to do and you're Harry Potter fans, or you're not even, like the movies, and again, it's just something fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun,
and it's only one floor. Like you don't have to go upstairs. again. You go upstairs into the exhibit.
It's an
Then
escalator.
it's all on one floor. Yeah, escalator. And then you go down the escalator to the store.
Yep. The store floor.
The store floor. Anyway.
Floor delico.
I'm not Matt.
I'm not Jackie. Here are the Hahns. Come on.
No, we're not doing that.
That was funny.
That is not.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie.
Here are the Hahns signing out.
Thank you so much for listening to Couple Chat. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify or YouTube Music, and check out our YouTube page to see this episode in video. Thank you to Hahn Films for editing and producing this episode. Talk to you soon.